Hi all, I wanted to add another video just for the project that's due soon. Let's look at project one, okay? And so project one is applying everything you learned in module two, which is descriptive statistics, right? So it's kind of like, instead of just working through homework problems, it's let's use what you've learned and apply it to something so that you really have an idea of what it is you've been doing, okay? So let's take a look at the project. First of all, there's two parts to it. The actual project is here, and this is the database, okay? So just click on that first, and this basically allows you to open the database in StatCrunch, okay? So here's the data. You're going to use what you learned on Chapter 2 with this data. And you're going to use StatCrunch to do all your calculations for you, or at least a lot of them, okay? So I want you to use this. This is what you would typically do in the real world. You're not going to be just manually calculating the averages or the means and the histograms and stuff like that. You're going to use some kind of tool, and we're going to use StatCrunch because that's what you're used to. And we're going to analyze the data, okay? So this problem here is not important. You don't have to do that. It's not counted. This is just to get you the link to the data, okay? So let's go back to the project here. And you can do the project over time. You don't have to do it in one sitting. Just when you finish, you hit the submit button here. But you can save it. And read each one of these things. This is an intro to the data set. And this gives you an intro on how you open the data set, which I just did there. And the first question says, looking at the average MPG, list the descriptive statistics. Okay? And it also says, don't just say what the average is. Don't just say what the mean is. List as many descriptive statistics as you can that you remember in Chapter 2. All right, so how are you going to do that? Well, you would come into StatCrunch. All right, let's see if I can get that data set up here. All right, so here's the column of data, and you're going to use what you've been doing in Chapter 2 to find the descriptive statistics of the average MPG, okay? So it's one thing to look at all these numbers, but if you start listing things like the mean, what's the mean of that data, right? That's going to tell me something about the average. Just looking at these numbers, I'm not going to have an idea. But, so that's the idea. Let's go back to the project. All right, so list the descriptive statistics. And then it says, look at the outliers. There's a specific procedure for finding outliers that we've done. All right, so this says find the boundaries to determine if there's outliers. If there are any, then list them. If not, you can say that. And then these questions are about the Chapter 1, about, what type of data are we looking at? So there's nothing tricky about this, but make sure you review that from Chapter 1 so you can get those problems right. And this one talks about the distribution of the data. There's some more outlier questions here. And then you have to construct a histogram. And you're going to do that. You will do that all with StatCrunch. Okay? Use the tools that you've been using on your homework so that you can answer these questions in the project. It's not a hard project, but it's a little bit different in that it's asking you to apply things that you've already learned. Okay? So I hope that helps you out.